of technology. As I said, Jerry and I go way, way back. And our careers have a lot of similarities. You know, both of us have spent a big portion of our lives in the media end of the business, particularly the electronic end, related to television. And I just want to share with you, you know, I've got, in our industry, like everybody has in their industries, you all have some heroes. I have 3 of them that I really appreciate what they've done for our sport, and Jerry McInnes is one of them. And I find it incredible that a man at this point in his career decides to do what he decided to do this past year. And let me tell you, it isn't because he needs the money. I can guarantee you that. That is not a factor. And he's doing it because he loves the sport, cares about it, and has a passion for it. And whenever somebody does things for those reasons, the decision-making process is always correct. They're not there to answer and make decisions based on quarterly reports. They're there to make decisions for the long-term good of the companies they work with, the lives they touch, in this case, the sport fishing community. Like I said again, he doesn't have to be doing what he's doing. He could be out fishing with his dog on a nice sunny day, relaxing and enjoying life. But he chose to jump in to this game big time. And that I have a great deal of respect for. I really appreciate his commitment to our sport. And I know that this past number of months he's been running all over the country talking to groups of fishermen like we have here. And I was kind of interested, really interested from a personal perspective, to see what he had to say and what he has heard. You know, what is the feedback coming back from the bass world, the walleye world, fishing in general, the industry? Yeah, you know, when you're traveling around that much and you talk to that many people, you've got some wisdom that you want to share, and making a living in this sport, I did want to hear that. But when I got a call this morning on the Panic News, he calls me and Dad calls me, I flipped my phone on this morning. Hey, you know, guess what happened? Jerry can't get in. So, you know, thank God I can be here. Now, I didn't have a time. I didn't have anything that I was going to plan about. I was just coming down here with Jimmy, and I'm kind of a little disjointed, but I'm going to ask you to kind of bear with me. I've got some things in my mind I want to talk about that will contribute to the whole thing. Like it says here, it is all about the sport. But I'm going to kind of probably roll around like this a little bit. Like I said, kind of bear with me. The first and foremost, when we talk about the sport of fishing, what is the foundation of it? The foundation of it is pure and simple. We've got to have fish to catch. That is the foundation. Otherwise, none of us have a job. Nobody sells anything. Nobody can promote anything. Nobody can do a television show on it. Nobody can do nothing. There's nothing. We need a foundation. The foundation is a quality fishery. We're fortunate enough to have that. You know, having been in the industry my entire life and having traveled all over the country, you know, and been fortunate enough to fish with some of the best walleye anglers in the business, the best bass anglers, the best catfish fishermen, musky fishermen, the list goes on, on some of the best water, you know, that we have available to us. I can say without reservation that the fishery in this country is in pretty darn good shape overall. And the bass fishery and the walleye fishery, by and large, is in excellent shape, and in many parts of the country, it's better than it's ever been. You know, and that's strong. That bodes well for the future of the sport. That is the key. That is the foundation of everything. And that's good news. That's good news for all of us. The economy. We're finally seeing the tables tip in the right direction. After 18 brutal months, to some cases 2 years, but 18 brutal months, we're seeing it tip this way. We're seeing arrows go up. There's cautious optimism at all levels. You can see that in the turnout at this NPAA meeting, a record turnout. That means there's a lot of excitement. Talking to all of the manufacturers, the people that were here this week and sharing with you, there's cautious optimism. Distribution channels, we're hearing cautious optimism. And I'm not hearing anything negative. We're sitting at lunch talking a little bit. Nobody is jumping in full tilt, but what they are doing, they're putting one foot in. You know, we're still recuperating in some cases with a few black eyes, a few bloody noses yet. But we're all here coming out of this. And the sport and the industry is starting to look in that direction. And, you know, with some positive signs going into this season. You know, the upcoming boat shows for the marine end of the business are going to be critical. You know, and that's going to tell us a lot. But again, coming into the boat show season, you know, everything is looking really, really good. And from a competitive angler's point of view, and that's what many of you are in here for and want to hear about. You know, you love competitive fishing. You love particularly walleye fishing in this group. I know there's a crossover to many of you that like to fish bass. I know there's a little bit of musky competitors in here, a little bit of everything. The competition is competition. Yeah, you know, and bringing it into the fishing game is exciting for all of us. That's the part that many of us in this room are hearing what it's about this weekend for us. And you look at many of the major tournament organizations, what's happening going into this year, and kind of what happened before. Again, I'm back to that cautious optimism. But there's some really high points, some things worth noting. And I'll take some of the higher profile organizations. You know, just look at MWC from a team perspective. You know, they had, even this last year on Winnebago, an amazing amount of anglers that want to fish competitively from a team perspective. And they got a great 28-year history contributing to our sport. And there, I see Mark with full throttle back there. Again, the promotion of the team aspect of many of the tournaments. Doing a phenomenal job. You see AIM and its contribution to the sport, particularly the CRR, catch, record, release, which personally I believe has answered, just like many of you, a huge amount of the challenges that the walleye tournament world faced. And it's a huge positive step in the right direction. Huge step in the right direction. And there you look at the miraculous recovery of FLW and what they're doing and what they're bringing to the table going into next year. These are all positive. These are great things. In a short period of time, boom. A whole load of excitement. On the other side of the coin, we're seeing the same thing happen in the bass world. We're seeing major tours that are filled already with waiting lists at all levels. And whether they're draw tournaments to team tournaments, we're seeing a new, renewed excitement that we didn't see for 2 years. And there's a whole new energy going on out there. And energy feeds itself. And a governing factor behind a whole lot of all of this, when you flip on the news, you even hear them saying some good things. How does that, and that in itself drives a lot of optimism. It's not all gloom and doom. They'll always add, yeah, but, with it, but they're saying good things, which create a level of excitement. There's power in words and in the mood that they set out in the marketplace. With that, and that's a good thing. And so we're seeing a lot of, you know, really a lot of excitement again in our sport. You know, most of you know that my career, and you, Jerry, if you're watching, we've made our living, and the majority of our living, in and around the media business. Jerry predominantly in electronics, and now in print media. I'm saying prayers for you, Jerry, if you're there. The rest of us, I really feel led to talk a little bit about media, the part you play in it, and what the future in the media world is going to be, how it impacts how we sell tackle, how we communicate the excitement of the sport, how we generate new people into the sport, because we're going through a whole new paradigm. And anybody in here watch CNBC this past weekend and a biography and the story of Facebook? Quite an astounding, and they'll play it numerous times again. You're in a business, and everybody in here is a business. Every one of you is an independent business person. Each one of you are. You know, if you're a tournament fisherman, you are the business, you're the company. This thing on Facebook on CNBC was an amazing story. The numbers are beyond belief. It'll floor you. I want to encourage you, you get the time, you've got to go, and they'll play this numerous times. You do want to take a look at this thing. Today, let me back up a little bit. Everything we do, whether you're a manufacturer of product, a promoter, a tournament angler, whatever your involvement is, this sport is driven by media. Some kind of media. Without media, we ain't going nowhere. We've got to be able to reach people with a story. We've got to be able to tell them a story that will be exciting, that turns their crank, where they're going to look and say, I want to go do that. That looks like fun. I want to buy that product because it's going to help me catch more fish. Today, still, beyond a shadow of a doubt, the strongest individual vehicle we have out there is television. It is still number one. To reach a huge populace of people at a cost per thousand, it is still the best value. The drawback is it's gotten very expensive to play there. You have to have deep pockets for the companies to support it. But its value, you can't question it. It moves the needle, and it moves it really fast when it's done right. And there is still, I'm talking about a cost per thousand for the value of television, is still an incredible vehicle. And it makes it a little difficult for the small entrepreneurial companies because they don't have the bucks to be able to play. And with consolidation of our industry, it's getting to be more of the big boys only. You know, that's where we're at, but that's the reality of the game. It doesn't change the fact that television is that powerful. Print media continues to decline in a big way. And the internet, web, new media has taken its toll, and it will continue. It will continue to nip away at standard bread and butter print media as we understand it. You're seeing many of the major print media publications in the world today start to put more and more energy into online magazines. Yeah, just look at, you've seen the push on FLW recently where they're making a heavy push on their online magazine. I know, and one of the things that I wanted to hear from McInnes, I know he's got to be looking at that and doing it with Bass. You know, he doesn't want to keep printing 500,000 magazines with paper and ink and mailing them through the post office. I know the cost efficiencies aren't there anymore. He'd like to change that game. So he's looking, they have to be looking at more online type magazines. And you see that the newspapers have done it, most major publications are going in that direction. With it, and the beauty of an online publication, and one of the first people I'd ever seen do it is right here, Chip and Tommy. And when they had Wildside and were involved in Wildside, and we shared that the other day. I said, Chip, you're a little ahead of your time. Well, that was one of the first ones in our industry that I seen come out to service But today, all of the ducks are in a row. These things that were scattered all over out in space are slowly lining up, lining up, lining up, lining up, lining up. Where today it's a reality. Everybody can read it, everybody can do it all, and the tools of the trade are on you, to take advantage of this. When you look at these ads that are in there, you read through it and you go to any manufacturer's ad, electronic ad, boat ad, it makes no difference. You go to their ad and you accent and you punch it in. Today it's much more than simply linking them to their webpage. It's going to take whatever that ad says, and in print and in a picture, and now it's going to turn it into life. So when you link to that, this thing that is a picture with some words on it, and they're going to take that becomes the script for the video piece that's going to support it. And then this piece might be 1 minute, it might be 2 minutes, it might be 3 minutes. But it's going to bring it to life. It's going to tell a story that hasn't been told there before in a different way. And it becomes much more exciting when you can do that. This is happening really, 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 really quick right now. Other elements of some of these changes in the way we get the words out and transfer thoughts to the mass market consumer is our main website. A lot of our websites that are the purveyors of information today that they control, and Walleye First, Walleye Central, Bass Fan, Wired to Fish are some examples of what I'm talking about. It's their job to feed the segments of the industry that they service. And their job and the stories that they tell are different than the house organs for the different companies such as FLW, such as Bass, such as a manufacturer like Freyville. And because let's face it, they're not going to say a lot of good things about their competition. They're going to toot their own horn. However, the jobs of some of the sites that I just talked about, their job is to collectively grab the information and have the courage to tell the truth and share the information the way it needs to be shared and challenge the industry when it needs to be challenged and not be afraid to do it. Because I may make this advertiser mad, or that advertiser mad. And they have to be careful. There is a fine line to cross. But it is their job, if we're going to grow this sport, and that's what we're here for, to tell the story, the true story. What is right? Create the excitement. Tell the story the way it has to be told. And this creates more opportunity than you've ever seen before for every one of you in here. As I said earlier, you are a company. Every one of you are an individual company. And you're in business with another company. You have opportunities today as fishermen to work for your marketing partners like we've never had before. You're more in control of your destiny than you ever were before because of the new media, the outlets, and the way things are done. Whether it's Facebook, Twitter, everything, you control it. You can make it happen. You're not going through the gateholders anymore that shackled you to see if somebody said, well, I don't like that article, I'm not going to run it. You don't have to do it anymore. You can go around it. You got control over it. You can say what you want to say the way you want to say it, when you want to say it, and there's a built-in audience that wasn't there just a short while ago. The game's changed. Continues to change. And it's changing for the better. Whole lot of new excitement out there. I've seen I'll talk a little bit about how we're going to sell product. Because the bottom line of anything in business is somebody, somewhere, has to sell something for somebody and make money doing it, or none of us in this room are here. It's the whole bottom line. We have to sell something for somebody, and somebody's got to make money in the link. Or none of us are here. You don't have to go to business school for 4 years to understand that. It's pretty simple stuff. You got to make money. There has to be a profit when it's all said and done. Nobody's going to give you money without getting a return for something. It's all about a need or a want. That's the whole bottom line. I need this or I want it. And I'm willing to spend this money. Now, our job in many cases is to convey this thought, to get this thought. You need this to help you catch another walleye. You need this for a more comfortable day out on the water. You know, what's the story? What's the story? This transition period, that we're going to see a spurt for a period of time with these online magazines. And then it's going to transition fairly quickly now and become a media conglomerate where it's going to be all, the entity will be made up of television, print, and radio all in one thing. You'll be able to listen to things, you'll be able to see things, you will be able to talk about things, you can be able, and it's all going to be going shorter. The in-depth, lengthy pieces are no longer, society today they won't work that way. It's getting to the point which is good. Give me short, precise sound bites of what I want to know specifically, clear, and let me move on. Don't give me all the flowering bunch of bold. Let me just let's cut to the chase and get the job done. And you got an intelligent group of people out there. They don't want to hear all of the baloney. Tell me what I got to know to catch me another fish. Make my experience out on the water more comfortable, better, whatever. Just get right to it. And we got the means to do it today. You got the means to do it today. They're sitting on your hip. In most cases, it's sitting right there. In this transition period, how we sell product, and this really amazes me. I'm looking at this now. The job that you're going to be able to do for your marketing partners, you get an opportunity. There's a company out on the West Coast called Tackle Warehouse. You get a chance, go punch up Tackle Warehouse and then go look at the video sections on Tackle Warehouse. What they've started to do, now they're serviced by a wholesaler. It's Big Rock that services them out west. However, I'm quite familiar with Tackle Warehouse. I spent a number of years, my son fishes a lot of tournaments all over the West Coast. When you get out on the West Coast, they don't have retail sporting goods stores like you and I have and are used to here. You can come into town and you got a Mills here, you got a Walmart here, you got a Fleet Farm from here, a Gander Mountain here, and they're all in a one-block stretch. That don't happen over there. And almost everybody buys their tackle in the western states, particularly 8 of the western states. A lot of it is bought online, like the majority of it. And Tackle Warehouse is grown servicing the avid West Coast tournament fishermen. I mean, you're at a tournament, you need anything, they will have it through the next day. You're going to pay for it, but if they got to come in with a helicopter and drop it in the parking lot, you will get the piece. You will get what you want. They'll get it to you. If you need it, you will get it. They just started doing this, and it was really intriguing to me, and you can almost crystal ball and see where the future is going with this stuff. They've got pro staff from different companies that are doing these little video pieces, and you go to the Tackle Warehouse site, and you punch this up, and they got different pro staff from different companies that is talking about a particular lure or a particular item, or a rod, a reel, a lure. And there's a little bit of a fishing scene done. Now, by the way, a lot of this is amateur outward production work. Let me clue you. The audio is atrocious. The video is really bad, but the point behind it is really right. They get done doing their little spiel about this particular bait or whatever it is. You know, it's driving sales immediately to Tackle Warehouse right on the spot, right at that time. These pieces are 1.5, 2.5, 3 minutes of a reputable person talking about a very specific item. And you can see what will happen if this gets dressed up a little bit. And the missing link so far is they just end the comment. The guy lands a fish, or so that's what you do, you know, he ends with that thing. What's the next natural conversion in there? How about a special on that item at Tackle Warehouse, next 24 hours. After you get one, you get two. Buy one, we'll give you another one free. They haven't closed the door yet, but it's a no-brainer. That's the next step. They're sitting there. You got somebody that watches this piece. There's a guy on there that did a little piece on a fraud. His name is Bub Tosh. Now, I know Bub Tosh because I've seen him fish these tournaments out there. Bub Tosh is a true bub. But he kicks butt in the Delta and some of those lakes there. He's got a Bub Tosh fraud. I finished watching the thing. I ordered the Bub Tosh fraud. I had to have this. I had to have this thing. It looks so cool. And you can just, we're going to see, that's how we're going to start selling product. And it's going to happen. It's going to happen in the Gander Mountain stores. It's going to happen in Bass Pro Shop. It's going to happen at Cabela's. It's going to happen at Dick's. And they're going to have you, the pro staff for a particular company, take a particular product. You're going to do a 1.5, 2, 3 minute piece on it. They're going to have, right then and there, they might have 10 of these on for that day, and it's going to convert to a sale with a 20% off or whatever, however they package it. And to close the gap on the sale at that point in time. That's where we're going with this stuff. And it's happening faster and faster and faster. Everything is in a row to do this. It's all there. In how we distribute product, how we sell product. And we're all an integral part of making this thing happen. This is an exciting time. We're coming out of some of the darkest, toughest days we've seen in the sport. But we're back out. Like I said, we're seeing a big tip in the direction. But we went through a lot of changes of how everything is done. Technology is making you change. It's here, it's real, and it's a good thing. And man, is it happening fast. It's happening real fast. Really, really fast. Some of the brightest days at all levels of what we're doing here, the way to sell this product, we're going to see it in boat companies, we're going to see it in rods, reels, clothing, you name it. And it's going to be right on the sites with specials right then and there that people want to buy. They can buy that right now. Give me that right now. The manufacturers will lock up with you saying, I need you to do this, this, and this. It's part of your responsibility. It'll be built into the contract with the companies you're working with. You're going to say, I need a little of this. You've got to step up, do a little more of this. This is all part of the promotional end of this stuff. But the game is changing in a big, big way. In what way? People want information. They're starved for information, and we can get them information today like we were never able to get them information before. And the beauty of it, everything is fast. The thing with this stuff, everybody wants it now. Everything is fast. And this is fast, clear, small, precise sound bites, talking about one very specific thing at a time. And it's proper use at its proper time. In all elements of our sport. And what this is going to do, as I said earlier, I've been in the media business all our life. That's what I've been involved in. And I'm looking at this stuff now, and it's really exciting to me because I'm particularly involved in electronic media. That's what we do these days, in the stuff that we do. And I know that they're going to need loads of this stuff to feed this monster that is slowly sitting out there now coming into shape. It's happening out there. To tell these stories, it's going to be like this. And the people are responding daily, 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 daily. What do I have to know now? This is now, happening now. This is what I need now. That's the direction where this whole thing is going. And when it came down, in the last 18 months, this thing just skyrocketed because all of these parts that have been floating out there aren't floating anymore. And for the good of our sport, stability finally came back in. Stability is settled back in here. You're seeing whole new interest level. But I want to share that with you on how we're going to sell tackle. How we're going to sell it. And be on there. Everybody, you can do this on your phone. We don't need to have elaborate production stuff. It needs to be a little bit better than some of the stuff that I've seen the Tackle Warehouse. Some of it's pretty tough, and you'll see that. But the rest of it can come together. There's not a lot of editing that has to be done. It can be a stand-up shot. The person is clear, concise, what they're talking about. It'd be nice to have a fish caught with it, let's face it, that brings a little entertainment value, at least land the fish. People like to see white water in a fish. It sells popcorn, okay? You got to have a little of that in there. It's a key part of it. And the rest of it becomes dressing. You know, the nicer you put the bows and package, the more the viewer is responding to the piece. It all just kind of makes it a little easier for them to reach in their pocketbook, take that credit card, and go buy that product. And that's it. And that's what it's about. That's what we're here for. To kind of the things you've talked about all week. And I love the headline. It's all about the sport. The sport is in good shape. This is where we're going. We're seeing recovery at all levels. Right place to right time. Particularly a lot of you younger guys, your futures are strong in this thing. We're seeing some changes. You know, a lot of us old dogs that have been in this game, you're looking, it's an old cliche, and you know, you're not a success without a successor. So you're looking for people to hand the ball off to. Although I will tell you, a lot of us ain't going to roll over easy. You're going to have to take it from us. We're not going to roll over easy, okay? But there's a time and a place where you got to step up and you got to make the move. And it takes some effort. It takes effort, but the opportunity is there. You're going to be the new drivers of the ship in this sport. Where we go, what we do, the influences, you know, that you have on the sport. And it's all there. It's a new day and age with a lot of new things happening. And we're all in the right place at the right time. Again, I just want to take a moment to thank you, Pat, for the opportunity here. I didn't really know what I was going to talk about, so I just kind of babbled along for a while. I hope it helps you. I hope you have a great fishing season. It was a great conference, a record-setting conference here at the NPAA, and it couldn't be any better. God bless you guys. Have a great, safe fishing season. I know I'll see a lot of you on the water someplace. Jerry, if you're watching, later, brother.
He pretty well summed up what we talked about the whole conference. It all has come around. It's come full circle at this point in time. And, you know, so thank you. It's really great to have the ability to call on someone like Al to come in and give his vision as to where we all will be in the future. And he's talking the near future. It's changing so fast, guys, that I'm telling you, as we've talked about during this conference, you've got to stay with this. You've got to be on your game, and you've got to be willing to do what it takes to become the next generation of anglers that can make a difference to the sport, and you know, because it's all about the sport. So what I want to do here is wrap this up. I wanted to say some thank yous to some people. First and foremost, I want to thank the supporting partners. As you all know, we are in a position that I'm very glad we're in, and that is where we have a strong contingent of supporting partners, and I thank all of them for their support. Without them, we would not be what we are right now. I thank you, the members. Guys, you're it. I wouldn't be up here. I mean, when we talk about it's all about the sport, this association is all about you. It's the same thing. Without you, I wouldn't be here. We had no need. It's you. So thank you for coming, taking the time. For those of you that are watching this on the internet, I truly believe you missed out on a conference that could be extremely beneficial to your future, whether you're a guide, tournament angler, someone who likes to educate the future anglers. You know, I believe that you will find value in this conference, in the networking that goes on, all the information that's conveyed. But thank you to the members, both here and on the internet. I want to thank the board of directors. We've had an interesting year here. You know, last year I was standing up here as president of the association. We had some changes, and I want to thank the board for supporting everything that I've done this past year with them to try to make this association become what it can be. We've just scratched the surface. really, really bright from this point forward. So thank you, board, for allowing the vision to move forward. I want to thank the Holiday Inn. Let's give the Holiday Inn a hand. Everything that they did for us was great. I think the location works extremely well when we're in this part of the world, so thank you to the Holiday Inn staff. And again, it's all about the sport. I'd like all of you here to go out and promote the sport you love. Make a difference. Go out and promote the sport, because it's all about sport. I'd like you all to go out and protect that sport. Get me information on local ordinances that might keep people from wetting a fishing line. Get me information on state ordinances. Get me information on anything that you think can affect the sport that we love. And I will guarantee you that we will work hard, both with our association and with our partners on the conservation side, to make a difference. To make sure that as Al said, the resource is strong. Because without the resource, we don't have the sport. So he's correct. It's all about the sport. Without the resource, we've got nothing. And no one's going fishing in a pond that doesn't have any fish in it. So please protect the sport, and that means protect the resource. Roll up your sleeves and help. And I'm not just saying help us. Help the local fishing club put on a youth fishing clinic. And if we have NPAA members there that rolled up their sleeves, we'll help you fund that local fishing clinic. I'm not going to send money to local fishing clubs on behalf of the NPAA if I don't have members there. But if I have members there, and as you heard, financially we're in a position now where we can help with funding for this, I'll be glad to get rods and reels for your local events. We've got nothing but positives in front of us with regard to being able to expose people to the sport. But everybody in this room and everybody watching on the internet, it's time to roll up your sleeves and make a difference. It's time to roll up your sleeves and share what we love about the sport and have people understand that it's all about the sport. Because once they fish, they'll understand that it's all about sport. Support the companies that support the NPAA. I thank the supporting partners before, but you can do your part to buy their products. Frable products, Mercury products, Evernote products, Ranger products. We have some great supporting partners. They make great product. Support them. Buy product. Our members-only programs are really important to you and to us. Because if they sell a whole bunch of product through that program, they're going to continue those programs. He's smiling over here. He knows what I'm talking about. Always be professional. We are the opinion leaders. We're the ones that people look up to in our local communities. We're the ones that everybody goes to for questions about the sport, and you've got to be professional, no matter where you are. Local boat landing, sports shows, boat show season's coming up. Always be professional. It's something that is absolutely necessary. And part of being that professional, in my opinion, those numbers that we send out are member numbers. Put those on your boats and on your truck. I want those on there, not because I'm number 77. I want those on there because I want people to realize that I'm part of an association I'm proud of. I also want them on there because if we have issues with some of our members, I want to know that. I mean, it's a self-policing thing. I mean, it's like kind of like your name on your motor. That's why JK did that years ago, to self-police. Always be professional. Be a positive opinion leader. This goes to John Butts, and always be positive. That's one thing that I've learned from him this past year. He's always positive. You don't be negative on things. It's not always that things turn out the way you want them to turn out. I didn't want Jerry McInnes not to show up today. But I knew that there was a solution, and you figure it out. And thanks to good friends and you know, the way things worked out, the schedules worked out, we had a great speaker here today. Don't dwell on the negative. Don't use all this strength that we talked about. All this strength can be used two ways. All this strength, this marketing strength that we've got with the internet, can be used two ways, positive or negative. Use it positively. Don't dwell on the negatives. Use it positively. There'll be people out there that'll take the negative side. You don't need to do that as members of the NPAA. And if you want to help our sport, because it's all about the sport, be positive. Together we can make a difference. We need, moving forward, we need to have this organization a lot larger. We need bass anglers here. We need muskie anglers here. Catfish anglers. We need people who are looking to make fishing into a business, one way or another. Promoters, we need them here. And you can help make a difference by telling everybody that you know that if you're not a member of this association, you're missing out on something that would benefit both themselves and the sport. Because it's all about the sport. If they don't even know we exist, we're not going to get them. We will do our part as the management of the NPAA this coming year to market ourselves to this vast opportunity of anglers that are out there. And we'll grow. But you guys can all help too. Just imagine if every one of you brings one more person next year, and then you add to that everything that we do on the marketing side, we need a lot bigger room. Okay? And if that doesn't work, we'll have 2 or 3 conferences. We'll do it. So please, together we can make a difference. And on that note too, before I forget this, if there's anglers in this room that are going to go out and fish tournaments this year, I said this last year and I truly mean this. If you're going to go fish tournaments, sign up for the tournaments. Sign up right now. Don't wait until the last minute. Get this, and then go out and talk positively, because you can make a difference. Go out there and sign it up. It's just, you know, it's just like if you're going to go to a resort for vacation this summer, go book that now too. So you can get your family there, so it's on the calendar, so you made a commitment. Do it. It makes a difference. You can make that difference. Thank you very, very much for everything that you as members have done, for all your attention this past weekend, for putting up with my Nazi style of running these conferences. I have a tendency to want to stay on time. It's just the way I am. It's always been that way. And I truly appreciate the fact that you're all cooperative and that you're here. So thank you very much. Everybody travel safe. And who's going to win today? The Packers. All right.